It being 4th of October 2023, welcome for today's sports updates. My name is Bivon Omari. I'm going to take you back a little bit history of the Kenya Premier League and actually to give you a breakdown how it started and up to now which team has got many trophies. The Kenya Premier League was first launched the year 1963, which is the year also Kenya got its own independence as a country. And back then it is Nakuru All Stars that won the first ever trophy that season in 1963. But up to now, it is Gor Mahia that has got many trophies. There is 20 of them. And their first trophy, they won it the year 1968. And then from there, things really dribbled into their way. Up to now, leading 20 trophies is not that big joke. You must really give in your best. Then Tusker comes second, which have got 13 trophies of them, and then followed nearly by the AFC Leopards from the western based side of Kenya, which has got 12 of them. And then Ulinzi Stars comes fourth to only having 4 of them. It has been a very long journey for the Kenya Premier League back in the days between the 1963 up to 1990. In between, the players were really giving their best. They are giving their passion, in football, not comparing up to nowadays when you see in most of the leagues, many players do go to play for money. Back in the days, players really showed their passionate for the love of the football. But in the between 92 up to 2010, there in between, the Kenyan football seemed to go down a little bit because of lack of the sponsorship. But in the given the sponsorship, which was actually started the year 2012, when the East African breweries came onto board and said that we're gonna sponsor the FKF Kenya Premier League. And then they came in, they renamed the KPL into Tusker Premier League simply because the Tusker, the sponsor also have got some credit in sponsoring the league, so their name has to be branded there. They gave the sponsorship until their 2015 when they decided to opt out. And then from there, their 2015 SportPesa came onto the board. SportPesa is a betting company that really invested about 400 million Kenyan shillings between 2015 up to 2018. And then in between those period, that period of time, the Kenyan football really changed ever since we started having the sponsors on the kits of the players. It really showed a lot of improvement in our sports generally as a country. Then later on, Super Sport came in also. They decided to sponsor the KPL, and that time we could see that our players, their play was being seen outside the country, which was a very good thing because if you have got some good players, and then there are teams like from South Africa, from Sweden, from the leagues of the European leagues who have come to scout the players from Kenya, it really gives you a lot of hope because you have got players from the National Super League, from the county leagues, who also want to play the Premier League. But now, if the players in the Premier League are not going outside the country to join other teams, then we find it difficult for the young players also to come onto the Premier League. But thanks to SuperSport, because that time our Kenyan football was being seen outside the country, thus giving improvement and growth out of the young players from the young teams, and at least we really saw a lot of hope in our future. But in between the year 2019, again, we went down without a sponsor because of some reasons that were not clearly disclosed. Then SuperSport decided also to opt out. In between the year 2019-2020, the KPL was without a sponsor, and not until late 2021 and the 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic, whereby BetKing, which is also a betting company, came out to board, decided to sponsor the KPL. They did it for barely 2 years. Again, they decided to opt out. I don't know what is really happening because many sponsors have been coming, they have been signing 6 years contract, but they never really say that in the contract. You find that there is some misunderstanding between the FKF, that is the Football Kenya Federation, that is guiding and sponsoring and making sure that the running smooth of the Premier League. So there is a lot of questions in between the FKF and the sponsors. What is driving them away? But then let's leave that for another day. Then up to late 2023, 2022, back in the year 2022, still KPL was without a sponsor. Not until of late when Azam TV, as a media from Tanzania, came on to board and decided to sign also 7-year contract. That is, they now be partnering in the broadcasting of the games of the FKF. Starting this weekend's game, Mashemeji Derby, that is AFC Leopards against Gor Mahia, that will be held at Kasarani as from 4 p.m. 7th of October. Yeah, this year. So that is the first game that Azam TV will be broadcasting as they came on to board to partner with the FKF Kenya Premier League. So we'll be waiting and see how exactly things will be going, because if that kind of contract gonna go through as planned, then I think it is a good idea, because our Kenyan football, our Premier League, our players will get much exposure and to other teams outside the country, which will be also a good thing, because as I told you earlier, when you have got a broadcasting partner that is airing your games, then you find that teams outside your country are going to come in, they're going to send their scouts to get some players, and then they're going to give the players from the National Super League, from the county leagues, another opportunity also for them to come into the Premier League upper hand, and also getting an opportunity to go outside the country. Remember, nowadays talents also do pay. Apart from academics, also talents really pay nowadays, from the athletics and to the football, any kind of talent really got to pay. So stay logged here. My name is Bivan Omar. I'll continue updating on the same. Bye bye.